Hi guys, today I want to talk about few words we keep hearing in gaming world: Vogue, DEI, and RPG. And more importantly, what they actually mean, at least to me. As a gamer, yes, I said it, gamer. The video games are more than just a hobby. They're entertainment. They're my escape, my way of connecting with stories and characters that feel alive. But lately, something has been bugging me. I've seen so many people throw around the word Vogue. It's like this big insult, especially anytime a game includes a diverse character, a queer romance option, or even just storyline that isn't centered around the usual, like white male hero. It's like a moment there's any form of representation, some people lose their minds and start to call Vogue agendas. A Vogue agenda. So let's break it down. First, I think I wanna. So I went into deep dive and finding out what DEI stands for. So it stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So diversity means showing different kinds of people, race, gender, identity, culture, and ability. Equity is about making sure everyone has a fair chance, even if their path looks different. And inclusion is making sure people actually feel like they belong in the space. None of that is actually bad. It's just making games feel like the real world, varied, colorful, and layered. And then I want to talk about RPG, and for me, RPG is all about immersion. It's about stepping into a world and being part of it. It doesn't mean I have to look like the character, it means I have to feel connected through the choices I make, the relationships I build, and the story I experience. But lately, I've noticed that some people reviews aren't about the actual gameplay, story, or mechanics. They're about DEI. They're upset about black main character or trans customization option or same sex romance path. Like really, like that's your issue, not the combat, not the pacing, not the bugs, just the fact someone different exists in a game. That doesn't make the game bad. It just means it's not exclusively catered to you. So this is just the beginning of what I want to unpack, but I need to start here. Representation doesn't ruin games. Calling everything woke does. We need to talk about when the DEI is done well and when it feels like it's just a checklist. And yes, there's a difference.
There's a fine line between mercy and justice. Ain't that right, Hazel Flood? You chose a hard road for yourself.
Hazel, please, it isn't safe!
We got a long journey ahead.
I'm always fast enough!
All right, so now let's talk about games because this isn't just about words, it's about how games are made and how players respond. So, first, let's start with South of Midnight. This game dropped and already people are dragging it in the comments, not for gameplay or mechanics, no, but because of the vibe. Because it has strong black lead, because it embraces Southern black culture, because it feels different than the usual. One, the music is amazing, the voice acting is extremely good, combat, it's not the strongest part. But does it deserve to be dismissed entirely just because it doesn't feel like the default you're used to? Um, you know, a game can be culturally rich without being political, but some people just see black woman on the cover and suddenly it's Vogue propaganda. It's exhausting. Then there's Dragon Age Velgard. Phew. The comment section on this one, people are losing it over things like top surgery option in character creation. Like, first of all, they're just giving players more way to express themselves. You don't want to use it, that's fine. But why is someone else's character choice threatening your experience? It's still the same rich, branching storyline we know and love from BioWare, but people have been so quick to judge the inclusion instead of the gameplay. And speaking of BioWare, it's not. Let's not act like Dragon Age or Mass Effect just suddenly became inclusive. These games have always had queer characters, strong women, romance options that were not limited by genders. Remember Liara, remember Dorian. It was invoked then because it was done with depth, with character development, with actual storytelling. It wasn't forced, it was organic. And honestly, that's what I want more of. Three is I want to talk about is Boulder Gates 3. This game gave players so much freedom. You could romance anyone, you weren't boxed in, and no one made a big deal about it. It was just part of the world. That's representation I feel is done right. I remember romancing Gale, and it felt so natural. Not like a political checkbox, but a real connection built in the game that made me feel seen as a gay player. And I didn't feel the devs were preaching to me, they were just giving me space to exist. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think devs need to listen to the community. We are players, we give feedback, we spend the money, so yes, take our thoughts seriously. But there's a difference between feedback and fragility, between helping a game improve and shutting it down the moment someone in it isn't like you. That's not feedback. At the end of the day, RPGs are about immersions, and in an immersive world, there should be a room for everyone, not just background filler or token side characters, but as a fully written, dynamic, story driven people. So before you hit Vogue in the comment section, ask yourself, am I reacting to the game or just the fact that someone different is in it? Because if it's the second one, maybe the problem is not the game. So to finish off, I think the message of this video is, I'm gonna leave you with this. If this is the kind of backlash, hate, and mockery people face just for existing in a video game, just imagine what it's like in real life. If someone gets attacked online over a character having top surgery or a game including a black protagonist, what happens when it's a real person walking into a job interview, a classroom, or even just a family dinner? Representation in games might not change the world overnight, but it does give people a place to feel seen, understood, or maybe even celebrated. That's what DEI is supposed to be about. Not a checklist, not a woke agenda, just humanity. And when developers get it right, like in Mass Effect and Dragon Age, Baldur's Gate 3, even South of Midnight, I'm gonna say the early part of Dragon Age, you can feel it because the story isn't pushing a message, it's just telling the truth about people. Games are supposed to be immersive, that's what RPG means. Role playing, living a story, becoming someone else, or even a truer version of themselves. And for gamers like me, yeah, I said it, gamers, representation isn't a distraction, it's a connection. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Let's keep talking about it, let's keep playing, and let's make the world both in-game and out a little bit more inclusive. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love to hear your perspective, even if it's different from mine. I am generally truly curious to see what is your outtake on wokeness versus representation. I really am curious because the comments that I'm seeing generally make me sad, just because like it's you guys, it's fine. But yeah, I hope you like the game. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you later, alligator. Thank you. Bye.
Some days
Everybody's free.